This week on Media Delta, Commando. Remember when I said I'd rank you last? I lied. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Media Delta. Today, I'm going to fully admit, there really isn't a game based on this, and we didn't play anything that really was based on this movie, except maybe not, because I feel like this movie is more of an kind of an influential kind of thing, because this movie feels like a video game movie. Today even though there is a video game that shares the name of this movie, it is definitely not associated with this movie. We're talking about 1985's Commando, a movie that was directed by Mark L. Lester, written by Stephen E. D'Souza, which we have taken a look at a few of his films so far, like Die Hard in the Street Fighter, live-action Street Fighter movie, and also starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is kind of the main thing about this movie. This is an Arnold-ass Arnold movie. We'll discuss that later on. But I am not the only one who watched this. Please introduce yourselves in alphabetical order.
Hi, I'm Risen. I've seen this movie now a couple times, and I think it's pretty good.
I'm Torpitypus, and I'm here to be lied about, but being killed last.
Yes. So yes, basically this is a movie about Arnold is John Matrix, who is an ex-soldier
Powerful name.
It is a very, very good name, who is basically living out in the mountains with his daughter, and basically trying to live on their own. And then basically some mercenaries that's been hired by the ousted leader of Valverde, the kind of
It's Valverde.
Valverde,
Yep.
the country that Stephen E. D'Souza came up with as a stand-in for anything kind of South American. It's shown up in a few things, actually. Up in a lot of things.
A lot of his own work, and then it's been used by other people, kind of referencing his body of work.
All across the globe, too, because it's shown up in a couple anime, if I remember correctly, too. But yes, basically, they end up killing his crew and then actually trying to attack him, but they end up kidnapping his daughter. And basically, they're like, hey, if you don't assassinate the current head of the country and reinstate the guy that, what's that guy's name? The guy who's showed up as a sleazy extra in like a lot of 80s sitcoms. Dan Hedaya, as Arius, as I had to look to make sure that I wasn't reading that name wrong. Yes. Basically, Arnold Schwarzenegger or John Matrix does not want to do that, and basically ends up killing a whole bunch of dudes. And there's a lot of dudes that don't get killed. So yeah, I guess kind of before I just ramble on a little bit more, might as well go to our normal questions. So Risen, you said that you like the movie, but what's a little bit more elaboration on what your general impressions of this movie are?
I think the biggest thing that I like about it is that it's very well paced and has a good build up. As you follow John Matrix as he, goes from more like stealthy kind of takedown and tracking to more just flat out open warfare over the course of the film. Definitely a movie that I don't feel bored watching, and it flies by in a good way. I think the actors have very good chemistry with each other. Like, I'm not going, oh, this is so corny or anything. Even the more ridiculous one-liners are still amusing in the right way.
Yep. Yeah, because it's like of that era of like there are quips in this movie, and it is written in a way that they are incredibly corny, but also works really well for the movie.
Pure fucking schlock.
This is not a very deep movie. It is an extremely fun movie, though. This is not like some sort of like artisanal crafted
This isn't where
thing.
you go for like a deep, nuanced plot. This is where you go to see a dude shoot a bunch of other dudes and also stab them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also blow up an entire camp with just 3 claymores, which is
Look, there's a lot.
just that entire
just-
fucking compound.
Just don't worry about it. It's Arnold. He figured out how to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I guess is
like
that
how-
yeah.
One point he rips the chair out of rips the seat out of a car to sit in the car for some godforsaken reason.
Like also like it's also the point where towards the end he like invades this compound and ends up getting cornered in this shack that has a bunch of tools in it, finds some random saw blades and just throws it at a dude and cuts his like scalp off.
Yeah.
It's that level of movie.
It kind of, yeah, like in the same way that a lot of people remember like the later Rambos for the amount of like, here's like a single like M60 machine gun and it's just firing for several minutes on screen, repeatedly without reload.
But yeah, no, it's really good. Like that time that a dude goes to call his boss and he just tears out the fucking phone booth and tosses it.
Yeah, it's really good. And it helps that like yeah, as you were saying, the actors are all pretty good. And that like even like the villains are also really good. Is kind of they are enjoyable. Some of them you would probably not say they are good, but that actually makes it great if that makes sense. Like kind of the last villain, like kind of one of the main villains is interesting, so to speak. Who for some reason wears chainmail. Like
just looks like a mesh top though.
Yeah, it just looks like a mesh top. So this guy's just walking around in public in a fucking mesh top.
A mesh top over a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's a thing. So yeah. Is there anything else you'd want to bring up? Or any other things you would like to note about this movie?
No, I think that's all the key.
Okay. Turbo.
God, the pacing of this movie is going back to this movie just never fucking stops. The only time it's ever slow is during the very beginning when they're trying to establish that Arnold loves his daughter to bits. It's just having his slow, idyllic mountain life, and after that, the second the fucking military comes to pick him up, it just starts and never fucking stops the whole damn way through.
Yeah, it's God.
Literally, the first thing he does is fucking ride his truck, which had the engine block completely fucking removed, down a mountain.
It's yeah, because once the bad guys kind of invade the house, it is just one constant action that just kind of doesn't stop. Well, there's a little bit like once they like try and tell him like, oh, here's what you're gonna do for us, or else your daughter's gonna die. You have that little
but that's
thing.
before they get invaded. Like
that was after.
Oh yeah, that bit. Yeah, and then he immediately fucking kills a man on the plane and drops out of the plane.
Yeah. Then after that point, it just keeps on going, and it's great. Like it is one continuously like descending action.
Oh, it's just a fucking constant rising action up to the attack on the compound. It's beautiful.
It's a good payoff for all that rising action.
Yeah, it's like that last thing that is why I feel like it's somewhat appropriate to call this a video game movie, because that is essentially Mercs.
Yeah, no, a good way to call it a video game movie is because literally the last fight in the movie is a knife fight, because Arnold goads this motherfucker into fighting with the knife because he really wants to fuck him up.
It's great because like it is like it like that knife fight is probably why that was it Krauser from
it's Krauser fight,
yeah.
It's like why that fight probably exists is because of this movie.
It's very possible, yeah.
And just God, it is fascinating in that island thing because basically once Arnold just kind of invades and like does the initial explosion, he is just shooting dudes constantly. Like it is like Shock Troopers if you've ever played that. It's just you're just a dude and you're shooting everyone
He
and
fires his fucking LMG for like 5 minutes straight.
Yeah, it's just constant. Like he's firing so many bullets, he manages to like chop like the flowers off of a bush as he walks past it, gunning people down.
and he's just like it's at one point he has like this like probably like this AK variant that's like a light machine gun made, and then just is gunning everyone down. Just there's like a scene where he's just randomly picking out the weapons that he has. Like he just pulls out a shotgun, just people just go flying through that, and just like then eventually just pulls out a deagle, which just basically blows people like away. And it's
So
like
good.
it's dumb and it's great.
It never stops. Like at one point they raid a fucking, oh god, what is it? A
It's an army surplus
army
store.
surplus store.
Yeah,
And
where
he
they
just
managed to
opens up a
find.
secret panel at the back of the store and just starts looting it for all of these fucking automatic weapons, grenades, and
And
a
an
fucking
M202
rocket
flash.
launcher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the four-barreled rocket launcher that everyone is like vaguely familiar with.
yeah. And then uh it's great, like that thing is great because then also um uh sorry, I had something up in the Wikipedia article that just threw me through like a thing we will talk about when we get to the characters. Um who like yeah, because they're ready to get the rocket launcher, but then Arnold gets caught by the police. And then about like 2 minutes later, uh, there is a part where there's this a lady that basically Arnold technically kidnaps, kind of, and
Yeah.
basically makes her or like she becomes her like his accomplice or like his partner. And then she just randomly just pulls out the rocket launcher, just blows up this police thing. Well, not blows it up, but like disables it, like
She
real
blows
good.
out the undercarriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
Uh,
that is not she also manages to screw it up great, like forgets what part of the rocket launcher goes forward, which is also funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um
It's just the movie is non fucking stop.
Just nonstop. And like it's really quick how quickly she like goes from being like him kidnapping her to her going like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like this sounds
I can pilot a
I'm
plane.
gonna join in.
yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Once again, literally the first thing Arnold does when he meets her is threaten her and tear the seat out of her car to sit in it.
Yeah. Um
This was just after she was hit on by a character by the name of Sully. Who who is he played by again?
I
I'm
will
blanking on his name.
it is, let's see, I just had it
It's
up.
David Patrick Kelly, I think.
Yeah, David Patrick
Yes.
Kelly.
Who
Yep.
is amazing at playing pure fucking sleaze.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, he's made a good career playing sleaze.
Yeah.
It's so good. It never stops. It never fucking
Mhm.
stops. So it's part of what works in its favor. Like it doesn't need to be deep because it's just unrelenting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, is there any other kind of impressions that you had for the movie?
No, that covers a good chunk of it, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I love this movie so much. It is one of my favorite movies just because it is like my taste in movies, like the ones that I really, really like, come in two flavors. You have the very technical, complex movies that I like say, uh, like maybe not complex, but like stuff like Heat and like 2001: Space Odyssey. And then you have just complete popcorn, like junk food garbage, things like this movie and like Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the purest distillation of the 80s action movie.
This is candy. This movie is candy. It's
This'll
very,
rot
Yeah.
your fucking teeth out of your skull.
It's like the most perfectly Stephen E. D'Souza movie possible.
Yes, it is extremely good. Um, and yeah, uh, just I just love how it just does not stop. There's just things
Hmm.
happen, different things happen.
Some
Because
violence occurs.
it's like violence occurs in very different ways. It's great. Like there's like first off, it's a car chase between Arnold and Sully, and then Sully like then that gets resolved. Then they go to a hotel in which it's Arnold and another
Oh, I
guy.
mean, even before the car chase, they have the whole scene in the mall.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
where
they're,
he's getting chased by fucking mall cops.
they're
Yeah,
kicking the shit out of him.
and he's like jumping like from like all the way to from like a balcony to an elevator and everything, and
Once again, tearing up the phone booth and tossing it.
hmm
Uh, you know, yeah, it's God, just that hotel scene's also great because it's like just utterly ridiculous.
hmm
like, like it was
through
it?
a
They
wall.
literally break through a wall on a couple having sex who then
Yeah,
freak out.
I was gonna say, was it because I was wondering, was it a couple having sex or was it were they filming it?
They were
They
filming
were
it.
filming it, yeah.
I'm
Okay,
sure they were my theory is they're like amateur porn.
yeah,
Regardless, it was a
it's
naked couple in bed.
Yeah, and
it,
then
it
just suddenly they go through a wall.
yeah, it's great. It's just that kind of like just nonstop that, and then yeah,
The best part is they're duking it out without
Hmm.
even noticing the couple in bed.
yeah,
Yeah, they kind of just ignore them.
yeah. It's just set dressing. It's great. Um, yeah, it's just I just like this movie. It's just really fun.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think we should probably go a little bit more in depth about the particular characters about this because I feel the characters make this movie, um,
What few there really are of like established characters.
but they
Yeah,
really shine because they're not complex, but they are crystallized really well. So Torpo, how'd you feel about the characters in this movie?
They're fun. They're very one-dimensional. Like, oh my god, are they? But they're fun. Cause like you got Arnold, who is your like quintessential action hero. He loves his daughter. He loves America. He fucking tears through people like they're raw fucking meat. Just cuts through them like a knife through hot butter and guns them down like it's going out of style. Like,
he takes no shit because like one of like the henchmen is like, "You're gonna have to play along if you want to get your daughter back," and he's just like, "No deal," and shoots him point blank with a shotgun.
and then when they once again force him into the deal and he's on the plane, literally the first thing he does is kill a man and then dresses him up to look like he's sleeping.
And says to the stewardess, "Don't wake my friend. He's dead tired."
All
Yes,
he does is just make one-liners throughout the entire movie and it's beautiful.
Hmm.
Like he's just fucking soldier boy who good at kill, but goddamn, it's just beautiful in motion.
yeah,
Hmm. He's got beautiful comedic timing in addition to his murder skills.
yes.
Yeah, it's so good. And
Um,
like the big villain is just like a fucking wannabe dictator.
they picked a fantastic actor to do that because Dan Hedaya is basically has played that type. Well, not the like dictator type, but he's played sleazeball throughout his entire career, and he's really good at
Hmm.
it.
It's really fucking good.
Um,
And it's once again he doesn't get as much screen time as the other big villain, which is Bennett.
Yeah.
Bennett's gr- Bennett's just great.
But like every time you see him on screen, he's just busy being a fucking awful person.
He is just
Yeah.
busy being a huge chunk of ham. Uh,
A lot of energy, and it's really good. Yeah.
a very Freddie Mercury esque piece of ham. wearing chainmail.
Just yeah, I mean, Arius, which is Dan Hedaya, just choose the fucking scenery.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Sully, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
David Patrick Kelly, who is
Yeah,
just
who
a massive shit.
pure
Mhm.
fucking sleaze. Literally, the first thing he does is hit on a woman in like the most aggressively gross way possible.
Yeah.
Like the second he's on his own, and he's just nothing but
Mhm.
garbage. Like one of the reasons that the what is it, Cindy, which is played by Ray
Rain
Don
on Chong.
Chong,
Mm-hmm.
is willing, like, kind of works with him past a point, is because Sully was just a huge fucking creep to her.
Oh yeah.
It's he's nothing but garbage, and it makes it so fantastic because he basically is a slippery son of a bitch who manages to get out of most of the situations up until he can't.
Yeah.
Wherein both his car and fucking Arnold's car are totaled essentially. And Arnold has him grabbed, holding him over a cliff, and he fucking drops one of the best lines of the movie, which is, "Remember when I said I would kill you last? I lied."
It's really good.
And then drops him.
Drops him off a sheer cliff.
Because yeah, his car flips over is what happens, because then after that, Arnold just picks it up and flips it back over again
Mm-hmm.
And drives it off like nothing
Yeah.
happened.
and drives it off. You also have Bill Duke as Cook, who is also really good. That's where the person he's fighting the hotel, which is
Yep.
just a really good fight. But there's not much to
Yeah,
his
it's just
character.
very well choreographed.
On top of that, Cook is really good because the movie opens up not with Arnold being fantastic to his daughter. No, it opens up with Cook murdering a bunch of people in the most over the top ways possible. Like posing as a fucking garbage man and gunning a man down and blowing up a boat with a dude who just hopped on it, and it's just
running
all
over a guy with a car.
running over a guy with a car. Like it's fucking magical, and Cook is really good because he's just stoic the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That, because
And
yeah,
then
some other the other characters that I do feel like
we need to cover Bennett though, because we haven't
Yeah.
talked about Bennett yet. Who
Yeah, we need to
fucking
talk about Bennett.
is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Bennett is played by Vernon Wells.
Vernon Wells. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Who, I'm trying to look.
I think he was like in Australian television and
Yeah.
Australian television.
too.
Largely.
Voiced in video games since he voiced Samael in Darksiders.
Oh, Samael.
In
Yeah.
Darksiders 2. Samael, yeah.
Yeah, he still does a lot of work. Holy shit.
He
Yeah,
was in Mankind Divided.
Yep.
Like, I'm just looking at his IMDb and just like how much stuff is in like pre-production or filming or post-production at the moment is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Looney Tunes back in action.
Yep. Isn't that?
But, regardless, Bennett himself is just a bloodthirsty fucking monster who loves to kill and really wants to flay Arnold alive.
He is a neck vein that has gained sentience.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And all the time looking like he's about to go clubbing.
Yeah. He's
Uh,
kind of like just brimming with energy, and it's kind of surprising he doesn't just like explode at some point. Because he's just like, he just seems so barely contained in terms of his performance.
I'd imagine that he had a lot of fun.
Oh
as
yeah.
Bennett.
Like the director
Just being
told him to chew the
aggressively
scenery.
Australian at everyone,
Yeah.
despite being an American soldier in the movie.
Yeah.
Like Arnold, at least his character, they even mention that they got him out of Berlin. I
Mhm.
think it was.
I think something like that.
I mean, he talks to his daughter.
Was it Berlin or Beirut?
It was Berlin. They got him out of
Berlin, yeah.
Germany.
Okay.
Like he
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
mentions
he talks
listening
about,
to subversive music in Germany.
Yeah, when rock and roll came to East Germany.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just Bennett is just pure fucking like manic energy, and it's beautiful. Like I wish he did more violence on screen, but when he actually does a violence, it's over the top and fun.
Yeah, it's really
And
good.
then the end of the movie once again, where Arnold just goads him into a knife fight by constantly just picking at him, and he fucking loses his goddamn mind, and it's so good.
It's great. Also, because his death is one of the dumbest deaths, but also one of the greatest deaths, which also
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
really good line associated with it.
It's great. He just gets impaled by a fucking steam pipe as it shoots out steam.
As Arnold just grabbed from the wall and chucked at him.
Just
Yeah.
chucks a pipe, penetrating, like going through the chainmail, through his body, through the chainmail on the other side, and then punching into a steam pipe so that there's then steam shooting out the pipe that is going through Bennett.
It's also great because the chainmail never matters.
No.
There is never a point where the chainmail was useful.
Yeah, because he like cuts him in the knife fight.
Yeah.
He never fires a gun at him at any point because he runs out of ammo during their little duel.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why he has to goad him into the knife fight, and he falls for it hook, line, and sinker in the dumbest way possible.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
There is two other characters I feel that we should mention. One that's actually kind of weird in a casting sense. Jenny Matrix, which is the daughter, played by Alyssa Milano, a very young Alyssa Milano.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like when we learned who it was by looking up the IMDb, we were all fucking surprised.
This was not her first movie, but it was actually her second. The first one is Old Enough, it seems like.
Yeah, and once again is just kind of the daughter. Like, doesn't do much outside of just get in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Much.
And the other one we should talk about, is Cindy.
Cindy, Radon Chong, who is pretty. She's a pretty interesting actress, which I don't feel that she gets. She gets a lot of praise, but I don't think she's kind of as well known. Namely, that some interesting little bits of trivia that she is actually the daughter of Tommy Chong of Cheech and Chong. She was in movies like Quest for Fire. She was in this.
Beat Street.
And Beat Street. And the thing that threw me off for a moment is her personal life paragraph on Wikipedia. Chong married Owen Bayless, stockbroker. They had a son named Morgan. They divorced in 1982. In 1989, she married actor C. Thomas Howell, her co-star in the film Soul Man.
And then divorced a year later.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot she was in that movie.
Yeah, she fucking was. It's an awful fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Never talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah, Cindy's really great because originally she kind of starts as like something you'd be like the standard like hostage or something, or like the kind of the co-lady, I guess, in a movie where she's just kind of not able to do much. But then until she actually becomes pretty vital.
Yeah.
Up until she kind of just disappears from the movie after flying the plane.
Yeah, after they are not needed, or basically after she's not needed anymore. When Arnold starts raiding the complex.
No, it's real good. Also, when she starts flying the plane, complaining the entire time because she's not used to this plane or these instruments or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things, like, she starts off as sort of a hostage, but eventually starts taking part in the action and getting into it, all while panicking the entire fucking time. Justifiably.
Yeah.
At one point, like, during the mall scene, she even tells the mall cops about Arnold being a fucking weirdo, and they go after Arnold.
Well, also because Arnold's like, go try and seduce the guy who is just hitting on you really creepily.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the main characters of this movie. So is there anything else you want to kind of bring up about the characters?
No, that's mostly it for me.
Or is it you got anything else to add?
No, I think that's it.
All right. So yeah, the one character that I feel that we could probably give a little bit more time to is the main character, which is John Matrix, aka Arnold.
Arnold.
So
Pete
Risen,
Arnold.
I'll ask both of you. So how do you feel about the general Arnoldness of this movie?
It's extremely Arnold. I think I was introduced to Austrian Death Machine with let off some steam Bennett. So like, and the fact that that sticks in my mind most about that band's like tracks is probably a good reference to how Arnold this Arnold movie is.
Yeah.
It's aggressively Arnold. That's not quite Arnold enough because this is before he just basically always was munching on cigars.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this was actually, because I'm wondering actually how far into like his career, like what had he done at this point? I think this might actually be one of his first like big roles. Let me check that. That's his bodybuilding career. Oh, you figured that they'd have his just thing. Let me go to IMDb.
Now this is post Conan and the Terminator, but that's about it.
So yeah, it
Yeah.
was like really early. Um, I think this might actually be his first like really one-linery movie. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, he references Terminator at one point, but other than that,
well, I was gonna say, I don't know if I'll Be Back was from the original Terminator. I thought that was
fuck, was it?
mostly,
No,
I
that was the sequel. Yeah.
it was a sequel, which means that was a callback to this.
Oh my god,
Um,
that's
because
a
yeah,
weird thing in hindsight.
yeah, because yeah,
Mhm.
like this was pre-Predator, this was pre The Running Man. This, yeah, this was kind of the starter of that whole kind of thing. Because Conan wasn't really talkative, and the Terminator, like he definitely wasn't like spouting one-liners in Terminator.
Oh fuck no.
Mhm.
So yeah, this was his first like kind of playing that character.
Once again, I love how many action movies about these like super gung ho American soldiers just have random dudes from all over the fucking world with accents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, I was gonna say because yeah, like his main rival is Stallone, but I mean he is American, but his due to a
I mean, there's also Jean-Claude Van Damme.
oh, that's right. There's also
Mhm.
Sean Van Damme. But is Steven Seagal American?
Mm, Steven Seagal's a completely different beast.
Yeah, but
But regardless, yeah,
yeah,
Mhm.
it's some real fucking Arnold garbage and it's magical. But it's like it's weird thinking that it's like an establishing thing for peak Arnold garbage.
yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah, it's really weird to think about that. Um, yeah, that's really all I can add. Did anyone else have any uh general opinion on the Arnoldness of this movie?
No, it's real fucking
Yeah.
Arnold though.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go, uh, favorite kill / quip. Start Risen.
Mm. Just because I like how much of a sleazeball David Patrick Kelly is, I'm gonna say when he kills Sully.
Yep, that's a pretty good one.
It's really fucking good.
Um, Torpo, what about you?
I forget the exact quote, but when he kills Bennett is the other like really fucking good one.
Hey Bennett, blow. I think it's hey Bennett, blow off. Or why don't you blow off some steam or something like that?
Yes,
Mhm.
it's just
Let
so
off some
fucking
steam.
awful and it's terrible and it really just cuts through any tension they tried to build with that moment.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I personally appreciate the Sully death as well.
Mhm.
It's also great because as soon like as he falls, it's just he screams and then nothing.
Yeah. It cuts
I mean,
off so sharply.
it's such a good line that I've seen a fucking anime reference it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we've kind of talked. We've covered as much of Commando as I feel like we're gonna cover. So we are going to rank this using our normal 1 to 21 scale. With 1 being absolute mastercraft, really can't be improved in really anything foreseeable way, and 21, which is complete garbage that's not even fun, ironically, to watch.
Mhm.
So, Risen, what would you give this?
Like, what scale are we using?
So basically, like just a here I'll give you
Like,
Die Hard is number 1.
Die Hard is number 1. Okay. Ooh, that's some stiff competition.
Die
hmm.
Hard and Redline are number 1. Aliens is at a 2.
I would tie it with Aliens.
yeah, so a 2.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'd say same. I'd put it at 2 because so it doesn't quite get me as pumped as Redline. It's not that fucking. It's good, but it's not that level of like high octane insanity. But
Yeah.
also, it's like not as thought out as Die Hard ends up being. Like,
Yeah,
Die Hard is weirdly complex in a
Yeah.
way that is hard to describe for what is essentially an over-the-top action movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it lacks that sort of weird depth that Die Hard has, but also doesn't quite have the sort of, I guess, artistry and insanity that Redline has.
Mm-hmm.
Just oozing style like that and energy. But it's still really fucking good, which is why I would personally, also put it at 2.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I had for me, I was going to give this either 1 or 2. So I think 2 is perfectly fine for this movie.
Yeah.
Let's see, 2 Commando. It's gonna be episode 43, I think. This came out in 1985. Director was, I just had it up. Director is Mark Leiter. This originally did come out in theaters. This is an action movie.
Oh boy, howdy, is it a fucking action movie?
Tone. Should we go with cool or angry?
Fucking cool as hell.
It's cool, yeah.
It tries so hard to be cool.
And it succeeds.
Damn right.
Let's see, image. There it is. Okay. So is there anything we want to call out in music, charm, cinematography, storytelling, action, or art?
So I'd say actually music. The music is we didn't talk about. The music is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Lot
of steel drums.
of steel
A
drums, but
lot
also
of steel
saxophone.
drums. And
Steel
a
drums
saxophone.
and saxophone all over the place, which is not something you normally see, especially for like an action movie. But it works really well.
Oh, excuse me, Mark L. Lester is the director.
Yeah, who's the composer?
Let me check. Composer. It is James Horner.
Okay.
Let's see if I can figure out what else he's done. Krull. Star Trek 3. Cocoon. Aliens.
Okay, that makes sense.
American Tail. Willow. Red Heat, which is also another Arnold.
There's an important one you're gonna hit at the 90s though.
Land Before Time.
Terrifying.
In the 90s, let's see, another 40.
Pretty sure there's an important one in the 90s.
The Rocketeer. American Tail, Five Goes West. Let's see. Hocus Pocus. We're back at Dinosaur's Tale. Clear and Present Danger. The Page Master.
I haven't thought about We're Back in so long.
Jumanji, Balto. So
97.
97. Oh yeah, right. Titanic. I see.
He worked as a conductor and music producer. Like a lot of these, he works as a conductor.
You mean the thing that I should be looking at is 1999's Bicentennial Man, or Mighty Joe Young, or Deep Impact.
Yes, forgot the dude gets a lot of work, but it's not that many as like an actual composer.
Oh yeah, also Avatar.
Yeah, James Cameron likes him.
Like a lot of his work is mostly as a conductor, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Also, I can't believe that Karate Kid remake was 10 years ago.
Never mind. Yeah, no, he does so much shit. Oh my god.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I can definitely
13,
I can
Jumanji,
I can definitely give this a thumbs up for music. Also thumbs up for charm.
Excuse me. No, I was wrong. He has a fuckload of soundtrack credits too. They're mostly just for like an episode or two, but like he's 164 composer credits.
Dude's gotten work.
Dude does fucking work. He did We're Back, a Dinosaur Story.
Yes.
Yeah. When are we gonna do that?
There's
Never.
a game based on that. We
There
could
is,
technically
but
do
it's
that.
fucking awful.
They're all terrible. There's multiple ones for like different platforms.
But otherwise, I would the action. I would also give a thumbs up.
Yeah, that action also, yes.
Yeah, the
Otherwise,
action's
though,
really good.
I would leave
Yeah, 'cause
everything else alone.
Yeah, because it looks normal. The storytelling is it's not bad, but it's also not like
It's barely there.
groundbreaking, and the cinematography is good, but it's not
It's
groundbreaking.
normal, yeah.
For yay or nay, I am going to say just simply fun, and also maybe just plain cool.
Just plain cool.
Just plain cool.
For nay, I really can't think of anything.
No, it's just fun. It's just a good movie.
Like we've been watching a lot of like really long films, so I was actually kind of surprised when this was only an hour and a half or so.
God, it just doesn't feel like an hour and a half though. It flies
by.
Yeah, it's really good like that. So yeah, I think we should be good on Commando then.
Yeah.
So with that, before we head out, Risen, is there anything you want to plug?
No.
All right, Torpo.
Twitch.tv/torpotypus and @torpotypus on Twitter. And I would like to plug the massive hole in my estate left by these 3 claymores.
Yes. I don't know if you can call that a hole at that point. It's just gone.
It's a fucking crater.
All of Rhode Island cratered by 3 claymores.
Yes. So next week we are heading to uncharted waters, I guess, because it's something that I've never seen before. If I remember, if my thing is correct, yes. We're going to start taking a look at the cartoon, The Pirates of Dark Water, which is a Hanna-Barbera joint, which I know very little about.
Same.
But we have played.
Recommended it? Was it Bear?
No, that's just something that it's a cult classic. It's the people who've seen it seem to like it. But also that is a def no in terms of cartoon, because you could also say that about any Sonic cartoon.
Look, let me tell you about how much I love the Thundercats anime.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be next week. So until then, thank you all for listening. If you would like to look at the full list of rankings for yourself, please visit r3.ldp.life and go to the Media Delta List tab. If you would like to watch Media Delta's sister show, Retro Rank Rhapsody, you can either watch at youtube.ldp.life or by tuning into twitch.tv/LoadedPuzzlo at 7:30 p.m. on Fridays, 2:30 p.m. on Saturdays, and 1 p.m. on Sundays. All those times are from the Eastern U.S. time zone. If you would like to discuss this episode with the community, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which you can do so by going to discord.ldp.life. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you tune in for our next episode.